A very good evening to you all. MBA The Way Forward webinar organized by the Postgraduate Department of Commerce of Krishnajyothi College of Management and Technology, Chaganashiri. It's a very informative session for all the MBA aspirants, which covers all about MBA, its specializations, entrance exams, top B schools, etc. Now, let's start our session with a prayer song by Ashwati. Ashwati Suresh, please. Ashwati, please log.
Yes, Miss Keka.
Okay.
സർചരിതങ്ങൾ ഞാൻ പാടട്ടെ ഈശ്വര സത്യമായി എന്നിൽ നിറഞ്ഞു നിൽക്കൂ നിത്യവും ജീവിത പാഠങ്ങളിന്നോടെ ഹൃത്തിൽ നിന്നോതുവാൻ നീ കനിയൂ ഹൃത്തിൽ നിന്നോതുവാൻ നീ കനിയൂ നോവിന്റെ കണ്ണുനീർ കാണും നിടത്തെല്ലാം സ്നേഹത്തിൻ സാന്ത്വനമായി മാറാം നോവിന്റെ കണ്ണുനീർ കാണും നിടത്തെല്ലാം സ്നേഹത്തിൻ സാന്ത്വനമായി മാറാം കൂടെ ചിരിക്കാം കരയാൻ മനുജന്റെ വേദനയൊപ്പാൻ നീ ശക്തികൂ വേദനയൊപ്പാൻ നീ ശക്തികൂ സർചരിതങ്ങൾ ഞാൻ പാടട്ടെ ഈശ്വര സത്യമായി എന്നിൽ നിറഞ്ഞു നിൽക്കൂ നിത്യവും ജീവിത പാഠങ്ങളിന്നോടെ ഹൃത്തിൽ നിന്നോതുവാൻ നീ കനിയൂ ഹൃത്തിൽ നിന്നോതുവാൻ നീ കനിയൂ.
Thank you, Ashwati. Before moving on to the session, I would like to give you information. Those who are not able to join through the Google Meet, you can use the YouTube link for attending the webinar. And also, those who have any doubts or queries, please make sure that you will write it down on the chat box. In the end of the session, we will have an interactive time. At that time, we will deal with all the queries. In order to pave the way for all the MBA aspirants, we got an eminent personality, Dr. C.B. Joseph K. Currently working as an assistant professor and the former head of the Department of Management Studies, SB College, Chaganashiri. He got masters in commerce as well as in business administration and have got PhD in management from Calicut University. He is an accredited member of All India Management Association, New Delhi, and the research guide for the management studies of Mahatma Gandhi University. He is an academic council member and IQAC member of SB College and also advisory board member of St. Kitts College of Applied Sciences. He presented 25 papers at various national and international seminars and published 16 papers in various international journals. And a lot more to say. And for me, he is my beloved teacher. I invite you, sir, for the session.
So, good evening all. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So good evening. Thank you to Shreya Sojan for the nice introduction. Okay, I'm very happy to get associated with Krishnajyothi College. I've been in your college for a couple of other talks also. For seniors, I think I've addressed a few of the BCom batches earlier also. So let me express my thanks for inviting me to this webinar and for giving me an opportunity to talk about the MBA, the way forward. And I also would like to congratulate the Department of Commerce of Krishnajyothi College for organizing this webinar for the benefits of the outgoing BCom batch. That's what I understood. And I also express my gratitude to the principal for me an opportunity to talk about the Vice Principal, Dr. Verghese Anthony, the head of the department, Professor Matthew Manuel, the course coordinator, Professor Thomas Kutti, and the program coordinator, Tushara Sojan. So with that, we'll just move on to the presentation. Hope I am audible to everybody. Can I get 1 or 2 response?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So before I'll just put the presentation now. Is the PPT visible now? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as the topic, it was suggested that the MPA, the way forward. So students, maybe I would like to get some interaction in between also, so that I can very clearly get a feel that you're getting connected with me. Okay. So 1 or 2 students, maybe you can just intervene in between and ask something, so that I'm very sure that you are in line with me. So is an MPA worth for your career? I'm just posing 1 or 2 questions before you, and you need to have a thorough introspection, a thorough thinking. Is an MBA worthwhile for your career? There is this famous book by Samir Kamal, Beyond the MBA Hype. Okay, so is it MBA hype? Everybody is going for MBA. Is it really a hype? Is MBA really needed for your career advancement? So these are the few questions I'll be taking. Is it MBA really worth of it? There are 2 years I need to toil a lot. There's a lot of investment. There's a very big amount of investment in terms of time, money, effort, etc. So with these 3 questions, I'm just reinstating, I'm just readdressing the question once more. Is MBA worthwhile for your career? Is it something a hype actually, or it is beyond a hype? Is it MBA really worth of it? It is a differentiator? Is there any upper edge? If I take an MBA, will I be getting an upper edge? Is there any critical differentiator? With an MBA, I'll be able to have my career advancement very fast. Okay. And is it worth spending of my time, money, and effort? Okay. So when you do an MBA in a Kerala-based institutes, or maybe outside Kerala, tier 2 institutes, IIMs, and even outside, it takes a lot of time, money, and effort. Is it worth of it? Okay. So I'm just pausing just few questions before we get in the MBA program. And let me move on to the presentation. So I've just put why MBA. Now, this is a question we just ask for every MBA student when he joins for the MBA program, when he comes for the interview, etc. But then students are not very clear. They say that my cousin have done an MBA, my brother have done an MBA, my neighbor has done an MBA. Okay, so they told it's good, so I have also joined. Okay, no, that should not be the answer for you. That should not be the answer for you. You should have a clear understanding. You have to make a correct postmortem for yourself before taking up an MBA. Okay, so I will feel that basically MBA is not everybody's stuff. Okay, so you just make a very solid analysis before you get into an MBA program, and just for the sake of MBA is not enough. So once you decide that, okay, I'm going for an MBA, it should be a worth of it. Okay, so we'll just run through the slides and see how I'll be able to answer all these initial questions which I posed earlier. So I just repeating again, you are Samir Kamath. There's a book by Samir Kamath, Beyond the MBA Hype. I request everybody to just read that book. Okay, by Samir Kamath. So MBA actually is a professional course. Unlike any other course, it is a professional course. Okay. Now, when you say it is a professional course, when you do a higher PG course like MCOM, after the BCom, obviously you move to an MCOM course. MCOM is there, but then MCOM is not called as a professional course. MBA is a professional course, isn't it? Why? Why it is called as a professional course? Okay. Now, after taking MBA, I just reinforce the statement. It will not just help you to get a job. It will also help you to climb the career ladder faster. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Fine. Okay. Am I audible? Fine. Yeah. So before getting into the first slide, so after posing a couple of questions, which I want to just reiterate that MBA is not just to get you a career or get you a job. Just MBA, with the MBA, you are able to climb the career ladder faster. A student with a BTech background, with any degree background, getting into a job, a student after having an MBA and getting into a job, 2 years you have toiled extra, but that is worth the time, that is worth the effort, that is worth the money you spend, because you'll be able to climb the career ladder faster. So it will boost your potential of earning power. It will boost your potential for earning power. Okay, I have no doubt on that. But then there are some selective things. Is MBA has to be done by everybody, everybody's business? No, MBA is not everybody's business. It is not just a natural progression. After your degree, you do an MBA. No, again, it is not. So you have to make a thorough introspection. Am I really worth for that? Okay, without an MBA, people have been very much successful. Great. Now, if you ask me, I'll give you some statistics also. 60% of the top CEOs in India do not have MBA. I've quoted from the HBR. HBR is the Harvard Business Review, where they say that 60% of the top CEOs in India do not have an MBA. So which 30% is just having an MBA. Okay, so without MBA, things can happen. There's no doubt about it. And I got another one where when you take 100 CEOs from the Fortune 500, Fortune 500, you know that it is an international listing. When you take 100 CEOs in the Fortune 500 list, only 1/3 have got MBA. Okay, that is only 33.33% of the world leaders have got MBA. Okay, so please don't carry an impression that okay, MBA is the end of it, is the only solution. No, it is not that. But then with MBA, you are going to have a lot of advantages, what we are going to see in the coming slides. Okay. Now, to see, when you say the Mark Zuckerberg, okay, Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO of which company? Anybody? Facebook, great. Okay, and the Bill Gates is Microsoft, isn't it? Mark Zuckerberg is a successful person. Bill Gates is a very successful person. Both doesn't have an MBA. Okay, so please, students, this one I want to reiterate that. MBA, without MBA, it is successful. Okay, don't carry an impression that with only MBA is that something. But then the MBA will have its own advantages. Okay, so I reiterate that again. It is just a profession. It's not just a PG course. It's a professional course. Now coming back to the slide, why MBA? It gives you the practical knowledge. Unlike any PG programs, being a professional course, it gives you a lot of practical knowledge. And an MBA without a practical knowledge, it is of no use actually. So you see, your hard and the soft skills are enhanced with an MBA program. This is an answer which has been given by every student when we ask for an interview. They say, I want to polish my hard skills and soft skills. Obviously, MBA have a focus on that. And it acquires a skill for your business world. Okay, it have got a lot of inbuilt programs which after an MBA, you acquire the skills for the business world. You become more skilled and versatile, and you are adaptable for any industry or any job title. Okay, you start with you are just freshers. Most of the MBA students from Kerala are freshers, unlike any from North India and outside, isn't it? So immediately after your degree, you go for your MBA program. Okay, you don't have any experience. Okay, you have some internship and the project over there. But then finally after an MBA, you get adapted to any industry or any job title, and you can grow up the ladder very fast. That is one which I've seen it. And I'm a person who have experienced it also. Okay, so before joining for teaching, after my MBA, I worked in industry for 2 years. Later I've joined and I've seen my peer groups. Only I've come for the teaching part, but then with my peer group and my friends who've done the MBA, everybody have gone in a big way because of that MBA alone. Okay, so that I'm just saying with that, surely. So it develops critical, analytical thinking and qualities like leadership, decision making, problem solving, creativity, networking, and excellent communication. Okay. Now, excellent communication, I'll just start from the reverse. Excellent communication is very much needed for an MBA, and you have to improve that. So you see, you have got a career of 10 years of schooling plus 2 years of plus 2 and 3 years of degree. So 15 years or 16 years of studies over there, and then just in 2 years MBA will not make you, I will not have a turnaround. Okay, but then you should have some honors attempt from your side also to excel the communication you have it. The creativity, the networking is again a big part of it. When you join for the MBA and after the MBA also, you have to see that you have to have a networking part. Now you see, along when you do the course also, you can do that. The LinkedIn is a very powerful platform. Okay, LinkedIn, those who have not been into that, please ensure that you register for the LinkedIn. You have a network with your officials and the office, the people who are working in the industry. Take some mentors from there. Okay. And then the decision making. Obviously, you know that for any manager, every time he need to encounter with the decision making problems. Okay, the critical and the analytical thinking qualities are very, very important. And the last is the leadership quality. Okay, so obviously, when you do an MBA program, you will be able to take up different. You need to take up and you need to be a part of different programs, organizing various events. So obviously, the leadership skills will be enhanced also. So maybe you will be getting some exposure when you do the MBA, but finally, I'm very sure that will help you out in your career in future. And you see the pedagogy which has been followed over there, unlike any other courses, is case studies, business presentations, live projects, workshops, etc. Okay, so basically that will develop you and you will have a continuous connect to the industry. Okay, so it's not just the classroom MBA, it is beyond classrooms also. So where your studies will be supported by the case studies, live case studies. You will be able to do, you have to do the presentations, you have to meet the business people over there, have some interaction with them and come back to the class. You have to do some live project and consultancy during the course. N number of workshops are given to you. So the entire curriculum is formulated in such a way that you get a continuous exposure throughout your program. And I've just highlighted learning approaches. So basically you have the constructivist learning approach over here. That is the student center. Okay. So it is, when I say constructivist, it is the student center learning approach. The collaborative is a group learning. Okay. So MBA is more of group learning because unlike any other PG course, we get students from different backgrounds. Okay. Students from science, humanities, arts, engineering, isn't it? Or pharmacy, whatever be, you get students from different backgrounds actually. So there is a lot of group learning is to be done with. And next is the integrative learning. That is obviously, you see MBA, any guess how many papers are there for an MBA for 2 years course roughly? How many papers you have to do? Anybody? Roughly? Anybody? Take a guess. Somebody, just volunteer yourself and take a guess and tell me how many papers. Somebody? 20 plus? 30 plus? Hello?
28, sir, 28.
Yeah, 28 is a good guess. Okay, so it's 35 papers. Okay, on average, it's 30 to 33 papers. Okay, so which means that you have papers from BCom background, you have papers from the commerce background, economics background, you have engineering background, maths background, isn't it? So it is integrated. It is, you have separate discipline. And it is finally evolved as a one single discipline. Okay, so that is where you have that integrative approach is there. The reflective, okay, approach is there where the teacher guides the students. Okay, and inquiry-based learning. So this is a cumulative thing. Unlike any other course, the learning process is different there. Now, I'm just before getting into the serious affair, I'm just giving the Jack Mack. Okay, so who is Jack Mack? He is the founder of. Jack Mack is the founder of. Yes, somebody please. He was the co-founder of Alibaba Group, isn't it? And Alibaba Group, it's true, you know that it is called as the Amazon of the East. Okay, now you see you have got the Flipkart and the Amazon, the e-commerce sites and other things. But the Amazon, likewise, Alibaba is being called as the Amazon of the East. And he is one of the Chinese business magnate. He's one of the great Chinese business magnate. Okay. And you see what is, I just made a quote from him. All MBA have said are correct, but they can't execute it. So this is a heavy criticism we get it. So just a bookish MBA, a correspondence MBA will not serve you. Okay. Now, once you start working and then you want to have an MBA, it's fine. I am not discouraging it. But if students have got a facility to take up a regular MBA, a full-time MBA, it is very much essential. Why? Because that you have an upper edge. Okay. Because you will be able to execute things. You will be able to make some critical analysis because you get a hands-on experience. And this is the heavy criticism being told by the MBAs. They are correct. Whatever they say is correct, but they cannot execute. They can't execute it. Okay. So there is one thing we need to be very careful about MBA. So basically, when I say you need to execute it, you have to get a lot of skill sets. You have to get a lot of skill sets. So what are the skill set you need? One is analytical skill. Now we have got a paper called business analytics. Now and there is a functional area which is called as the business analytics. Okay, big data analysis, etc. So that is analysis is a part of the business every day. Okay, you have to differentiate the relevant and the irrelevant information. You have to delineate the issues and the problems. So you encounter with n number of problems in the organization, and we need to be very clear what is the issue, what is the problem, and what are the alternatives of that. Okay, so this is where you have to have the analytical skills. Academic achievements. Okay, now you see an MBA without a first class MBA, you do a 2 years of MBA, and if you're not able to get a minimum 60% mark, it is not worth of it. So academic achievements is very, very important. Now I've seen that when companies comes and recruit, they ask for a consistent first class. So from your 10th standard onwards, students having a consistent first class, students having a consistent 70% plus, students having a consistent 80% plus, they have some advantages in the recruitment and selection process. Okay, so that's very important. I've just again underlined that you have to have a first class MBA without which it is of no use. Next is a commitment. 2 years you need to toil yourself. When you come for an MBA, please, it's not just a cakewalk. You have to have a commitment for 2 years, a serious preparation, dedication for yourself. Okay. And I've just reiterated that you have to a tunnel of investment. Okay. You have to sacrifice a lot. Once you come for MBA, you have to forget other things. You have to come out of the other distractions actually. Put your heart and soul into the program. Okay. You don't say that, okay, I have a program there. I have the father's this marriage, that marriage, this occasion, that occasion. Don't find excuses that. Put your heart and soul into the program. Work for 2 years, toil for 2 years, and that is going to take you in a good spirit in the next phase of your life. And practicability is again one thing, okay, where your realism, the ability to attain God. So it should be more practical oriented also. And next is the maturity, tenacity, independence, and organization. Okay, when I say, so maturity is another one thing, where you have to be independent of this. Okay, you have to have your own clear thinking. Okay, you have to have an organization set up. You have to organize. Tenacity is another major important thing which you need to work on. And the decisiveness is another one factor, the skill which you need to acquire. That is facts finding. You have to make a very clear judgment. Okay, you have to say yes to yes and no to no. Okay. So that is where you have to make decisions, okay, and you have to take the final call. So you have got a number of people supporting you, but then finally you are the person as a manager, as a finance manager, HR manager, marketing manager, you need to take the final call. So you have, that is a judgment, courage has to be there. Next one is the intellectual capacity, creativity, okay. You have to develop new things. So you have to be a very innovative manager. You're not just running the show as it is for the last 10 years, 20 years. Once you assume the chair, you have to have your own space of creativity. You have to develop your own things, concepts and ideas. Okay, so that is where it has been valued in the organization. And obviously the communication skill, the oral, the listening, the presentation skills, the writing skills, the group discussion skills. I'm just adding one more thing over there. Your proficiency of Excel. Students, please. You see, if you've got time, I want everybody, because every student of the final year student, you be proficient with your Excel. Excel is very much needed in every phase of your career. Okay, so have a very thorough exposure of that. Your oral skills, listening skills, writing, presentation, group discussion, etc. You need to make a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so your writing skills, you have to make some notes and queries and other things. Okay, so these are the areas, of course, what I have last 22 years. What I've seen is that most of the students are lacking in these areas. Not that we don't have the idea, but then to put it in black and white, to say or express ourselves, we find it difficult. Okay, which you can improve very well, which I need not talk, your grown-up students, I need not tell you. But this is an area which you need to focus. Plus, I would like to add, you have to ensure that your Excel skill, your PPT skills, your writing skills and oral communication skills has to be improved a lot. Group skills again. Now you see, nowadays it is not you are not a single player. How best you are good as a person, how best you are performing as a single person, it has not been valued in an organization. It is more of teamwork, leadership, and how you motivate others. So obviously, as a team, you need to work. So the teamwork is very, very important. You have to be a team player. Okay. You have to have a leadership skills. Okay, leadership skill is that you know the differentiating factor between a leader and a manager. So after an MBA, you become a leader, not a manager. Manager is the entry level, but finally you need to be the leader of your group, the team. Okay, so that is where you need to focus yourself. Fine, that's it. Can I proceed? Hello, somebody could just respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, fine. Anything to be asked at this point of time? Okay, fine. So this tenacity is one thing which again, let me reiterate that. Maturity and tenacity. When I say maturity, I put a word called tenacity. So it's nothing but you have to grip something firmly. Tenacity is something that you grip firmly. Okay. So basically in an organization is that where you see you have to have a strong stand. You have to have a strong principle. Okay. So this is where exactly you stand out of the crowd. So you have to have your own individualism. You should be able to grip yourself. You have to have a strong standing and footing. Okay, which gives you a clear push in your career. Okay, that is the tenacity is what I meant. Now the career benefits of the MVP, which we have told this earlier, but then I very quickly run through this. So obviously the new careers paths are open to you. So MBA, there's no doubt. At non-MBA and MBA, your career paths are more open. Your earning potential increases. Now, having said that, what is your expectation for an MBA student to start with? What is the salary you need? To be very realistic, forget about the COVID days, this pandemic days. But then after an MBA, anybody who does a program from MBA, Kerala colleges, what should be your expected salary, monthly salary to be precise? Roughly how much salary you need? Guess please, guess. I know you are not working, but then what is your expectation? Hello, I would like to get some answer for that. 30,000. That's a good guess. Okay, so that's it. So any MBA student should not get into a job not less than 30,000. 30,000 to start with, without any experience, fresher. 30,000 is the salary you need to start with. Okay, that's a good answer. Below which you are not getting into job. Okay, so MBA should be, and you see with an MBA, without an MBA, your salary could be somewhere between 15 to 20,000. But then the starting salary, there is a push of 10,000 rupees, where 30,000 is nothing. So I say it could be 40,000, but then say 30,000 to start with for a fresher is really good. Your professional skills, we have discussed about that earlier. Okay, your job securities again, you get a better job security because you've got a person your professional degrees there, so your job security is much more. And the perspective grows, your world perspective grows. Okay, now you see how you're open to the world actually. Okay, so when you get an MBA degree, obviously you get a global exposure. You get to know what happens in the other part of the what is the culture, how the business is being done with, how the business persons are being. As I've told, I've given some example like the Jack Ma, the Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates, etc. Okay, or you have got Indian leaders also, how the business have been running. So you've been very keen on that actually. You have to expand your professional network. And I just told you, those who have not opened the LinkedIn, please ensure that you have a LinkedIn open today itself and start getting into that and just connect yourself with the industry people of your taste and preference, and then take somebody as your mentor. Okay, so that's a good platform to grow with. And you become more knowledgeable in the areas most. You see, you have got different careers actually. Okay, so MBA, first year is a general MBA. You have to get exposed to all the papers. Roughly, you get in a semester system, you have got 8 papers per semester. So 8 plus 8, 16 papers is where you have to study as a common paper. And then you have got to study other papers as your specialization. Okay, so you can focus again. So by the second year, you can narrow down and then just get into your area of interest. Okay, and obviously you become an accepted member of your community. Now I'm just coming to the next slide. You see, this I've taken from the AICTE. Now, you see, when I say management, these are the 3 terms used in management. One is the MPA, one is the PGCM, and the PGDBM. Okay, PGDBM, postgraduate, MPA, you know it. PGCM is a postgraduate certificate in management. And next one is PGDBM, is a postgraduate diploma in management. Now you see, the most common ones are MPAs and PGDBM. Okay, we'll be discussing that in the coming slides. Okay, so basically this is a 2 years of duration MBA. The minimum, you have to have a 3 years of degree, and your at least 50% of the mark should be there to join for an MBA program. Okay, so that is the essential conditions laid out by the AICTE. AICTE is the regulating body for MBA. Okay, UGC, but for every professional courses, the regulating body is the AICTE. So AICTE has given that actually. And then for the management, PGDBM, again, the duration should not be less than 21 months, and the rest of the things are all the same. Okay, but then I'll tell you what the difference between MPA and the PGDBM, and is it one and the same or not, or is there any difference? If there is a difference, what is the difference, which we'll be seeing in the coming slides. Okay. Now, please, again, I've just listed nearly 40 plus courses over here under management. This is again, I've taken from the AICTE nomenclature. Okay, don't carry an impression that when I say management, it is just an MBA, just an MBA. I'm not reading it, just have a look up an MBA for yourself. You can have a hospital administration course, you can have a healthcare administration, okay, you can specialize in foreign trade, you can have a logistics and supply chain management, okay, you can have an industrial relations and personal management, you can go for a mass communication, media management, you can go for rural planning, retail marketing, tourism management, etc. So there are 48 courses. There are 48 courses which has been listed under management. Okay, so it's not, MPA is not the end of it. You have got different other courses offered under that. We can check into the AICTE site, and these are the things. 48 nomenclatures are there under the MPA course. Now, this is an oft-asked question. What is MPA? What is PGDBM? Is MPA and PGDBM one and the same? Is there a difference? Is an MPA superior to PGDBM? Okay, I know the students have a doubt on this actually. Okay, now let's try to address that. Now, MPA is again a master's degree course that can be offered by the institute affiliated to the universities. Okay, now only universities and the university affiliated institute can give MPA degree. Okay, where there are institutes in India and outside where they offer both the MPA and PGDBM. There are institutes, see for example in Kerala, we have got the DC school, the Rajagiri school and the SCMS. They offer both the MPA and PGDBM. At that time they are attached to the university, they gave the MPA program. They have a standalone B school which is offers the PGDBM course also. Okay. Now what makes the difference there? Now PGDBM, I say that it is more rigorous. It is more rigorous. It is more industry oriented. and the curriculum have got latest developments. Okay, so I've used 3 terms over here. PGDBM is more rigorous, it is more industry oriented, and the curriculum is being updated on a regular basis. Okay, that is the difference. And MBA, as you know, that as it has been affiliated to university, it takes 3 years or 5 years to update the syllabus. And then it is a course which has been offered to the entire jurisdiction. Okay, you get students of different stuff over there, so it has to be catered to all the students. So the syllabus may be a little more lighter when compared to the PGDBM. And in PGDBMs, it can be very specific to industry also. For a particular industry, they can develop a PGDBM program. So the students after the PGDBM program, that they'll be absorbed by that industry. Okay, it is more rigorous. But then what the major criticism about PGDBM is that, obviously, it is a diploma course, where MPA is a degree course. You get a certificate by the university, it is more credible. It is more credible. Okay, that is true. That is true. But then now, let me make it again clear, PGDBM is not inferior, because after an MBA, you may not go for a higher studies. Okay, you go for working in an industry, and industry just look for your focus. Is the student really good? And everybody in the industry know that the PGDBM is more rigorous. It is mostly updated syllabus are being given over there. So industry do prefer PGDBMs than the MBA. But then MBAs, obviously, it has got an upper hand because it has been affiliated to the university. It is not the institute giving the certificate. In PGDBM, the institute is giving the certificate. Now, tomorrow what happens is that when you do an MBA in SB or Rajagiri, you get a certificate which has been given by the MG University. Okay, so that credibility is there. But then tomorrow, if you see that you do a PGDBM in one of the institutes, and what happened is that the credibility of that institute lost. So you have that image tarnishing is there, isn't it? So there is a risk over there. But then once you have been passed out and you prove yourself as good, then that is fine. Okay. And then having said that, you have to look into one more thing. There's an Association of Indian University, AIU. So when you take up a PGDBM programs, okay, and I tell you that in the coming slides, IIMs offer what? IIMs offer PGDBM. Okay, so PGDBM is not bad actually. That's what I'm trying to see. So you have to ensure that when you go for any PGDBMs, you have to see that whether that PGDBM is certified by AIU, Association of Indian University. So there you say that there is an equivalency to MBA. So when you go, see for example, if you need to do a PhD based on your MBA, just a PGDBM may have some problems in some part. If you have a MBA, PGDBM, it may have some issues. When you take up a PhD program, it may not be accepted. It may not be listed over there. So you have to work a little more. Maybe it may become difficult at that point of time. But then if you feel that there is a equivalency of MBA, it is much more easier. That's fine. Hope I'm clear with that. The difference between PGDBM and MBA. I would like to get an answer to that. Somebody has to respond to that. Can I move to the next slide? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, having said that, I've taken next presentations would be at 3 levels. I've seen students, I've just, few of the students who are hearing me has to go for IIMs. Now, unlike 10 years or 15 years back, we had hardly 4 IIMs or 5 IIMs. Now you have got 20 IIMs, okay. So students who are sitting over here has to aspire to get into any of the IIMs. It is not a big thing. It's not a big thing. You have to work a little hard. You have to qualify the CAT examination. I'll give you all the guidelines for that. So I want, after hearing this presentation, is not that don't settle for the tier 2, tier 3 institutes. Okay. Few of you have to really aspire to get into the IIMs. Okay. So IIMs offer you the PGP, the postgraduate program, or PGPA. Okay, PGPA, postgraduate management program, etc. Apart from that, they have an executive MBA and the fellowship program. PhD program is there. They have an executive MBA program is there. Once you start working, you can take up an MBA along with the work. Okay, so that is there. That is one option. So don't worry that immediately after the course I have to take my MBA. You can take MBA after getting into job, and parallel along with your job, you can take your executive MBA. Okay, so that is really worth. Okay. So, as a fresher, a few students you can afford to work, need to work, start working after the program degree, and then work for 3 years or 5 years, and then parallel you take your executive MBA. Okay. So here I'm just taking, so these IIMs were till 2017. Till 2017, IIMs were giving postgraduate diploma in management. So, okay, so that's why I've told you that PGDMs are no way inferior. All the IIMs were giving PGDM programs. Now, after 2017 IIM Act, they were authorized to award MBA programs. So, IIMs are given after the 2017 IIM Act, IIMs can offer you MBA programs also. But then, it is up to IIMs to decide. They can. So right now, what they do is that certain IIMs are giving MBA degree, certain IIMs are giving the good old postgraduate diploma in management. Okay, and most of the IIMs, the premium IIMs are giving still the postgraduate diploma in management. They have not moved to MBA. Now the choice is there between the IIMs to offer either the MBA or the PGDBM programs as per the new Act of 2017. Now, I've listed 20 IIMs over here. I've listed 20 IIMs over here. Have a look of it. You have got the institute. IIM A is Ahmedabad, B is Bangalore, C is Calcutta. So these are the premium IIMs, A, B, C. And we got one in Kozhikode also. In 1996, we had one in Kozhikode. And you see, now we got 20 IIMs. I've told you that 20 IIMs. So I want a few students to really aspire for taking up MBA at IIM. Okay. Now you have the latest one, like one in Nagpur and Bodh Gaya. Okay. And Bodh Gaya is a place in remote village in Bihar. Very remote village in Bihar. It's a Buddhist place. Okay. Where that Bodh Gaya, Bodh is a tree actually. It's been named after the Buddha. He got enlightened sitting under that tree, isn't it? It is that place, Bodh Gaya. Okay. So all the IIMs have been placed in some typical places in India. And getting into this IIMs is not a big thing. It's not a big thing. So please do aspire for this. Okay. So you've got 20 IIMs. Maybe 10 years back, you had only 3 to 4 or 5 IIMs. Okay. So please work on that. Now, how to get into IIMs? Very quickly, I just run through that also. Let me check the time. Oh, Tushara, ma'am. Tushara, up to what time I should go? I've got the freedom to take up to what time?
Sir, it's up to 5:50. 5:50.
Okay. Now it is 5:44 actually, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, fine. Okay.
It is 5 to 10. 10 minutes extra also, there won't be any problem.
Okay. So I think I need to rush a little now. Okay. So now let's very quickly run to the admissions of IIM. IIMs have got the CAT is examination. CAT. Okay. You have to take it up, and just got different variety of subsets like the written ability. Apart from the CAT, you have to qualify the written test, written ability test. Apart from the CAT, you have got one more thing: written ability test, group discussion, and the personal interview. And most of the IIMs, the fees would be from 33 lakhs to 10 lakh. And then there are 3 sections in the CAT, which is the verbal ability, reading comprehensions, the data interpretation, and the logical reasoning, and the quantitative ability. Okay. And the CAT examination is held only once in a year. Okay. So the 5-year students for next year, I think the CAT registration is over with. Okay. So August is the registration time, and exam falls in November. Okay, exam falls in November. The CAT examination is for 300 marks. You got for every correct answer is 3 marks is allotted, and for each wrong marker, for each wrong question, 1 mark is deducted. Okay, so it's for 300 marks. You've got 3 areas in the examination. The fees is slightly expensive, on average of 23 lakhs. New generation IMs, it is 102, it is 10 lakh. To be very realistic, it is 23 lakhs is what exactly the fees for the IMs. Now you see, this is the cutoff for the top IMs, is the percentile. You know what is percentile? Okay, so percentile is that your score is not, if I say 90 percentile, your score is better than 90% of the test scorers. That is what percentile means. Okay. So you should be in the top 90%. You should be in the top 90% to get into the any IM. So if you write a CAT examination, you need to qualify yourself in the top 90%. Then only you'll be able to get into the IMs. Now that is set IMs. You've got the Tier 2 B schools are there. Tier 2 B schools are there. I've just given a list of B schools over here. Okay. So those who are not able to get into IMs, this is the next set of B schools you need to aspire for. Okay. I'm not reading it out. Okay, you got the schools, and this obviously it has got a mix of one. You got the IITs. Almost every IITs are offering MBAs. The NITs are offering MBAs. Okay, and then you have got premium university departments are offering MBAs. Plus you have got other standalone B schools also. So this is a list of premium B schools which I've given over here. And they have their own examination, or they have CAT examination, MAT examination, CMAT examination, etc. Okay, so you need to qualify. You need to look into the sites of each one and see which are the qualifying examination to be taken up by these B schools. Okay, and these are the common management entrance examinations. We have it. Some of the popular management examinations are the CAT, CMAT, MAT, SAT, IIFT by the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, and SNAP by the Symbiosis College. Okay, so just students, please have a look of it. Those who would like to aspire for to do an MBA program in Kerala, MAT is not a qualified examination. Those who want to do an MBA for a PGDBM, MAT is okay, but those who want to do an MBA program in Kerala, MAT is not a qualified examination. They have taken out that. Now you can have CAT, you can go CMAT, or there is a Kerala MAT, which I will be telling you in the next slide. There's a Kerala MAT. Okay, so I think I am able to convey that properly. This mistake has been done by many students. MAT is no way qualified as a qualifying examination if you want to do an MBA program in AICTE approved institutions. This is a private agency. But then the PGDBMs, they approve this. The AICTE approved examination is CMAT. Okay, and every state have got their own qualifying examination. In Kerala, we have got a KMAT examination, which that once you qualify the KMAT examination, you will be able to do MBA only in Kerala. But then if you want to take up an MBA throughout, you have to do either the CAT or CMAT examination. Hope it is clear. So what I say is that CAT is considered to be one of the popular and the prestigious management entrance examination. Now I just given a comparison over here. So I've highlighted the major one, the CAT, the CMAT, and the MAT examination. MAT, I've told you that this is now qualified only for the PGDBM courses, not for MPS. Okay, so please don't take that up, because MAT have got much of frequency. There are 5 examinations in a year by MAT actually. So there's no point of doing that. Why? Because that is not qualified for MBA colleges. Now it is the CMAT. CMAT is that one thing. So you have to qualify the CMAT examination or the CAT examination. Okay. CMAT examination is for 300 marks. CAT examination is for 300 marks. CMAT examination is for 400 marks. CAT you have only once in a year. CMAT, you have mostly 2 examinations, but then 1 examination for sure, it is in the month of January. So students who are aspiring for MBA for the next year has to take up the CMAT examination, which falls in January. Hope you are listening. Those who are serious in taking an MBA examination has to take up the CMAT examination, which is scheduled in January. For sure, you need to take it up. Okay. And then don't wait for the Kerala MAT. Kerala MAT also, those who are planning to do an MBA in Kerala can opt for that also. Kerala MAT, the first examination will be in January, and followed by that you will have one in May. Okay, so that are two examinations. Okay, now and then it is again CMAT. You have got 4 marks for every correct answer. There is a 1 mark -4. That it is a computer-based examinations. Only this is again CMAT is a computer-based examination. Okay, so frequency is 1 or 2 maximum. MAT I'm not highlighting it, and plus these are the one which you need to SAT Saviors Institutes. Okay, you got Savior Jesuit fathers are running a lot of these schools. For that, Loyola colleges or Savior institutes you have to go to take up this. And this is a symbiosis examination, and you got NMAT and ATMR. These are the things not much popular, which is again few examinations in the national level. Now just getting into the KMAT Kerala. KMAT, I've told you that this is the qualifying examination if you want to take up an MBA program within Kerala. With this examination, you will be able to do an MBA program only in Kerala. You see, I've got the Kerala MAT, I've got twice in a year. January you have it, and May also they may conduct one more. So examination, it is an online examination, you have it. You got quantitative aptitude, data sufficiency, logical reasoning, general knowledge, business scenario, and English language. It has got more components. It has got more components. Okay, and then you see, it is out of 720. KMAT is out of 720, and the cutoff score is 180. 108. So for a general category student, you have to get 108 marks to qualify. There's a cutoff mark for the entrance examination, 72 marks for the OBC students, and 54 marks for the SSC students. Okay, but then so 108 marks is the cutoff mark for the general category of students. And I've given it here. Make a note that the MAT score will not be considered for MBA admissions in Kerala. So don't make a mistake. So these are the comment sections. Having said all this, these are the comment sections for the MBA examination. Taken all the examination, these are the major heads. So you can prepare for yourself. There are a lot of books available. Along with your degree course, if you are very serious on getting into the MBA for the next year, start preparing. At high time, you need to start preparing for the course in these areas. So next one is how to select the best MBA college. How to select the best MBA college. Okay. Now, actually, there is a cutoff mark. There are exams accepted. There are cutoff. There are some dubious schools where they do a lot of dilutions. Please don't get into those schools. Okay. And I've clearly told you what is the difference between MBA and PGDBMs. The fees is another major one thing. So calculate the total fee. It's not just the tuition fees alone. Okay, the tuition fees I've told you that is for IIMs is 25 lakhs, but then you need another 20 lakhs more to study there. Okay, so when you do a normal MBA here, maybe it will be something 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs in Kerala, but then you need to spend another 3 lakhs plus 6 lakhs to complete your program. Okay, so it is expensive. Your hostel fees, your internship fees, your international trip fees, etc. put together, you have. So calculate the total fees committed. Okay. Check with that order. And the average salary, the placements is a very important criteria. When you get into any B school, if you want to get into any B school, check who are the top recruiters of those college. What is the average salary? Okay, the fees you pay is 3 lakh rupee. So your average salary should not be less than 3 lakhs. Okay, that is one simple criteria I tell you. Okay, when you do in IIM, your fees is 20 lakhs. So you should not end up in less than 20 lakhs salary. Isn't it? So that is a simple way of seeing things. Okay, and the ranking and the accreditation. Okay, that is very important. The faculty, is the faculty qualified? Okay, how long the faculties were there? Is the turnaround of faculties is very common over there? Maybe that is one major issue you have. It. Okay, if the faculty is stable over there, these are things you need. The location is another important thing. If you get exposed, now you see why people are moving to Bangalore and Chennai is that. The metro exposure is good for MBA. Okay, so if you can afford to do that, do. And then the generalized MBA and the specialized MBA. So you have to match up your aptitude. So those who are not very keen, go for a general MBA rather than a specialized MBA. Okay, and then you can do a specialization course later. And the legacy and the alumni base. Check with the alumni. Okay, see where the alumni have been placed. And then lastly, the infrastructure and the facilities of the institute also has to be seen. I'm running a little fast. Now, the MBA specialization, I've told you that there are nearly a lot of specialization are there. These are the common major specialization. Finance, marketing, HR, international business, rural management, business analytics is a major area which has been coming up. Agriculture MBA, supply chain, entrepreneurship and family business is another major MBA program, healthcare, etc. Now, how the specialization comes only in the second year. So I think I can just run quickly in this because it will be too heavy for you to take all this. Okay. So specialization, obviously, you have to think for yourself. What are your strengths? Okay. A student who is really good at quantitative things. Okay. Finance is good. A student who is very smart, or maybe you are just open, who can face the crowd, talk to the crowd. Marketing is good. A person who is very people-centric. HR is good. Okay, so know your strength, do a self-analysis, focus on your long-term goal, where I would like to be. Okay, so your MBA specialization should be the first firm step. So you have taken finance as a specialization, now you need to see that you build your career in finance. Okay, the salary figures. Okay, HR is my passion actually, but then HR to start with the salary is very low. But you don't mind that, because HR was your passion. So you are ready to forgo your salary in the initial stages. And then over a period of time, you can get more salary. Okay. And then the factors to consider while choosing an MBA specialization. So one is that you need to build up your career. Second is that, is it promising? Is it promising for you? Okay. And the liking towards that line. I have a liking towards line. I know students coming up saying that, okay, fine, sir, I am from the engineering background. Should I go for MBA finance or marketing? Okay, so these are the issues we have. So don't worry about all that. After the 1 year of your program, you'll be very clear about that. Your personal nature, if you're a very timid, shy person, it is not good for marketing. Your academic background also, a student with a BCom background, MBA finance would be much more better, isn't it? And then you have a combination of two specializations. Many of the B schools offer a combination of two specializations. I'll give you one example. Okay, you love marketing. You come from the commerce background. Okay, you need not take finance. You can go for finance, management, marketing of financial products, isn't it? So you've got a lot of permutation combinations for that in MBA. Now, very quickly, I'll just take another 5 minutes. Tushara, that is okay? Tushara, ma'am? 5 more minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Fine. So the job profile offered to the MBA finance, very quickly, I've just listed there. You see, don't carry an impression that this is there where I have seen students, why MBA finance? Okay, fine. I want to get into bank. For heaven's sake, no. For heaven's sake, no. Why? Because if you want to get into a bank, obviously after the degree, you go straight and get into a bank. Do some probation examinations and get into the bank. So bank is not your end of thing. Okay. And now people have started saying that, okay, fine, I would like to get into EY, KPMG, Deloitte and all. Okay, fine. But then you have got more chance to get in. These are the areas where you can work on in the finance area, like financial analyst, credit analyst, fund manager, risk manager, investment bank, okay, etc. And then these are the top recruiting companies in MBA. You've got the financial software. Aspire, finance students, those who would like to take up an MBA finance. Get into Reuters, get into Bloomberg. Okay. There are companies like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, and JP Morgan. Get into those investment banking. You have big 4 accounting and auditing firms like KPMG, EY, Deloitte, and PwC. Asset management, there are nearly 20 asset management companies in India. Get into those companies. Banks and other specialized financial institutions are there. And for MBA marketing, you see, you can start your career with a sales manager, no problem. You have to start with that. You have to get a field-on experience. Marketing manager, brand manager, media strategist, marketing analyst, digital media analyst, channel head, digital marketing, product manager, etc. And you see, you've got companies like FMCG companies are there. I've just listed a few companies here. Pharmaceutical companies, consumer durable companies, retail companies, e-commerce companies, and think big. Finally, I land up into Apple, Facebook, or Google, isn't it? Now, I can easily tell you that we got students, after studying from SBMPA, we have students in Google now. We have students in Reuters now. We have students in Bloomberg. So nothing is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you. With that firm conviction, I'm telling you. Okay, if you want, I can connect to those people. Okay, so you don't, you dream big, dream big. Now, job profile offered in MPA in HR. You see, you have got compensation manager, staffing director, placement manager, employment manager, HR generalist. So this is one major area. Okay, so to start your career as an HR generalist, that gives a tremendous exposure and you can grow a big way. Okay, and technical recruiter, etc. Okay, don't be a customer relationship manager. People end up in customer relationship manager. No, you have to start your career as HR generalist. Okay. And very quickly to the last part of it is the international MPA. Should I say or can I skip this to manage the time? Anybody aspiring for international MPA?
Sir, there are many students who want to study abroad.
Okay. Yeah, fine. So if that is the case, very quickly to the international MPA also. Now, international degrees, the major study destinations are US, UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Ireland, Singapore, Germany, etc. Okay, and you have to be very clear when you go for an international MBA. Certain institute ask for 4 years degree. Now you see, now the new education policy, we have the 4-year degree. Now international, that has come in a big way. Now we have a 3 years degree, so you have to have a work experience also. So with your 3 years of degree, you have to have some prior work experience also. That is mandatory. Okay, otherwise you have to do some diploma course also after your degree. So you have to be very careful whether it is 3 years or 4 years. And those colleges offer you scholarships. Okay, you have to see that you avail the scholarships. And the examination, there are 2 major examination over there is the GMAT examination and the GRI examination. GMAT is Graduate Management Aptitude Test. GRE is the Graduate Record Examination. Mostly the GMAT is there. GRE is mostly with the Canada and US based one, but GMAT is widely accepted. And GMAT, there is a maximum of 5 times in a year you can attempt. Maximum of 5 times in a year you can attempt GMAT examination. Okay, and GRE can be taken once every 21 days. But then GMAT can be taken up once every 16 days. But then in a year, you have an upper ceiling of 5 times. So after every 16 days, you can appear for that, but then you have a ceiling of 5 times in a year. Okay, so prepare well for the GMAT examination. If you are going to go abroad, take a serious preparation and then try to do that. GMAT examination, I've highlighted, the analytical writing is there, integrated reasoning, quantitative aptitude, critical reasoning, and sentence correction. So these are the areas where you have in GMAT. And another one more thing which you need to qualify the international MBA is the English proficiency test. There are major 3 proficiency tests. One is the TOEFL, other one is the IELTS, and other one is the PTE, Pearson Test of English. And mostly TOEFL has been recognized as the English proficiency test for MBA. Okay, IELTS and other things, obviously, it is also being qualified now. Not just for the other nursing and other things, even for the MBA also, there are countries do take that also. So IELTS, you have to have an average score of at least 6.5 to get, you see, a low IELTS scores if the international colleges invite you, which means that it is a dubious college. Now, please, heaven's sake, please understand that likewise, here we have got B schools of different categories. In any US or UK also you have similar things. So once you go for to do an international MBA, you have to do a thorough homework, okay, and see that your school is really a pretty good school. Okay, so this cutoff marks for the TOEFL 6.5 is really a good indicator, saying that they don't compromise on the quality. They don't compromise on the quality. Okay, so basically that is one thing. So please, if you struggle to get into this international schools, you go for a law school thing. Okay, 5 IELTS is okay for them, which means that that is a dubious college. That is a very dubious college. Okay. So always the IELTS is reported in a 9-band school. TOEFL average lies between 100 to 110. Okay. So most of the B schools abroad, they want you to have a 100 to 110 score. So anything less than 100 score, if institutes invite you, say, okay, this coming, obviously that's not a grade B school. Okay, so be very cautious with that. Now these are the top B schools in USA: the Harvard, the Stanford, the Booth School, the Wharton School, the Kellogg School. Okay, so as per for this, the Harvard, the Stanford, the Kellogg, the Wharton. In UK, you have got the London School, the Cambridge School, the Manchester School, the Lancaster School, the Imperial Schools, etc. Edinburgh, etc. Okay. And this is the last but one slide. The best career options after BCom. So please, I don't say that, okay, I don't want everybody to go to MBA. You have got options like CA, CAs, MCOM, CFA, CMA, FRM, ACA, CIB, etc. Okay, so students, you have got variety of BCom have got tremendous opening other than the MBA also. Just I'm summing it up. If you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help them to build others. Okay, so basically what you do, so it's not final college, it's not MPA, you need to work as managers of some other company. You can be entrepreneurs also. You can be entrepreneurs. And Dhirubhai Ambani, I put the figure because he's a person. Now he's in one of the biggest company in India and the world. Okay, so you build your dream. If you don't build your dream, you can be an entrepreneur. Don't dream that, okay, fine, I'll be working in a company. Dream for a company of yourself. Okay. And then the Elon Musk. The Elon Musk, the person you know that, he's a person who have started the PayPal, the SpaceX, the Tesla Incorporation, etc. Okay. And you know the company PayPal is an electronic payment firm. SpaceX is a very aeronautical outbreak. And the Tesla, you know that there's a happening company. So Elon Musk, what he says that people should pursue what they are passionate about. So please, those students who are very passionate about MBA, look for that. And that will make you much happier and pretty much than anything else. Okay, so others, if you don't aspire for MBA, don't worry. Your friend may go to MBA, but then you don't decide, okay, my friend is going, I'm going. No. If you don't have the passion for that, don't go for MBA. The student with 100% passion, rededication, can toil for yourself, please take up MBA. And for others, you've got a lot of other options. Don't worry. Okay. So with that, so one final slide, this is what I want to finally say. I'm allowed to say, so once you have an MBA, you have some value additions. There's no doubt about it. You have an MBA, there is a value addition for you. You are a differentiating factor. You are a differentiating factor from others. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the very informative session. And now we have 5 to 6 minutes for the interactive time. Those who have any queries or any questions, please turn up. Anyone? Those who have any questions, please turn up.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Matthew, sir, I cannot hear you properly. I have some issue with I don't know whether it's true for everybody. I'm not able to hear you properly.
Matthew, sir, we can't hear you.
Hello, sir. Are me audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. So I congratulate CB sir for giving a good profile regarding the future of management education, particularly the commerce and management students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You have covered almost all areas, career, prospect, as well as the cost, effectiveness, and so many other things, in addition to the ladder of life, how to become climbed in the life and living. So you connected with the life and living as that is the ultimate end of education, higher education today. So
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I think your questions can be asked now. I'm open for that.
So we have got some questions in the chat box.
Yeah, Tushara ma'am, can you just pick up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, the first question is that is it good to have a distance MBA? Most of the students who want to work after the graduation, they will do distance MBA, and the syllabus is almost the same comparing the regular and the distance one. Is it
Yeah.
good, or is it have any advantages for doing
Yeah. I've told you that I don't want to say that is a distance MBA. You call for a refined term is called the executive MBA. Executive MBA. Okay. Now the off-campus MBA it has taken a toll actually. Now you see most of the off-campus MBAs are being it has been no more. It's no more actually. That was just a money building source for the universities and other things, to be very frank. Okay, but then there are premium institutes like even IIMs and other premium institutions offering you executive MBA, which means that after after your BCom you start working for 5 years, 10 years, and then after settling down, you have to improve your career. You have to go up your career ladder, where you can take up an executive MBA in any of the premium B schools. Every premium B schools is offering you an executive MBA. Okay, now but then IGNOU MBA. If at all, if you're planning for an MBA, take up an IGNOU MBA, not an off-campus MBA. Off-campus MBA, I'm not recommending it. I've seen that, I've gone through that. So IGNOU MBA is really rewarded. So anybody who are very serious, take an IGNOU MBA. If not, please take an executive MBA from any of the premium B schools. Fine?
Okay.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Okay, sir. The next question is, which course has the more scope? Is it PGDM or is it the MBA?
I didn't get the question, Tushara.
Sir, which course has the more scope? Is it the PGDM or is it the MBA to have a job opportunity?
No, there is no difference between students. Please be very clear with that. There's no difference between PGDBM and MBA. PGDBM and MBA. PGDBM is more vigorous, more practical oriented, more focused to the industry than the MBA. But then the differentiating factor is that the PGDBM, you get a diploma, you don't get a degree over there. Universities give the certificate. It is people feel that okay, once I get a university degree, it is more credible. But then when you take if you want to work, a PGDBM is equally good, and industries value that. But then when you go for a PGDBM, please see that you take up some premium institutes. Because the credibility, the institute gives the certificate, so the credibility matters a lot. Okay, so don't just fall into any PGDBM. Do a homework, check whether there is equivalency. Okay, it is being accredited by AICTE, and check with the alumni also where exactly the alumni has been placed and other things. Okay, but then if you want to do some higher studies and PhD programs, etc., maybe on a safer side, do an MBA.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next question is it easy to crack GMAT exam as CMAT?
I think CMAT is much more tougher. CMAT is much more tougher. Okay, toughest actually. GMAT with a steady preparation, it is easy. It is comparatively easy.
Okay. So the next one is, if you prepare for CAT, then it will be easy to have MAT, CMAT, or whatever it is.
No. One second. The previous question, Tushara, could you just play the previous question?
The previous question is it easy to crack GMAT exam as CMAT? Is it GMAT or
No. You see the question, there is slight subtle difference there. You see, GMAT is one thing which it is actually meant for the PG MBA program outside. Okay. It is a test qualified for the international MBA programs. Okay. What was the other one?
CMAT.
CMAT is purely an Indian examination. We need to get into Indian B schools. So both are different actually. Okay, both are different actually. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, one other question is, if you prepare for CAT, then it will be easy to handle MAT or CMAT or whatever it is.
Yeah, almost.
Almost the same or not?
Yeah,
that
it
is
almost the same, but the intensity, the toughness is slightly different. Much more in CAT examination and the CMAT examination. Okay, CMAT also getting score is not so easy actually. when compared to the MAT and the KMAT, etc. Okay, so please, almost, but the areas are the same. When you prepare it, obviously you can appear for multiple examination. But for if you want to have a CAT examination to be taken up, have a rigorous learning. Okay.
So one another question. In which area we should concentrate more if you want to crack the CAT exam?
CAT examination, there is, I've told you that there are 4 major components there. So you should be really good at arithmetics. Okay. So that is one thing. Your language is another big thing. The language proficiency of English. The reasoning is another important thing. So the maths, which has been asked in CAT, is slightly on a higher end. So you have to have a stronger base of maths actually.
Okay. So one another question. The PGDM students, they are doing more in their courses. That is, they are studying more. Then why it is considered as a diploma?
No. Actually, that is the awarding institution is different. The MBA is a degree. Only the universities can confer you degree. That is by statute. Okay. So that's why all the MBA degrees have been awarded by the university. PGDBM has been run by an autonomous body, but it has been regulated by the AICTE. Okay. Now, that's obviously, as I've told you, that there are B schools in Kerala also which offer MBA and the PGDBM. Now, Kerala people, we are more keen about getting a degree, getting a university certificate. Okay. So that is only the differentiating factor. That's only the differentiating.
Okay. Any other questions? Please raise up.
I would like to ask you one question.
Yeah, sure, please.
So some of the B schools are providing work-study work programs.
I didn't get you, please.
Some of the B schools are providing work-study work programs, and so what is your opinion on that?
Obviously, it's a great thing. You see, I've told you that for basically, personally for me, after the degree, coming straight for MBA is not advisable. Personally for me. If you work after your degree, you work for 2 years, minimum for 2 years, and then you take up an MPA, will give you more exposure, and your sitting in the classroom becomes more meaningful. Okay, so obviously, if you can clap your work along with your studies and then work and study, that is a beautiful combination, I think. Okay, so MPA obviously with a work experience hand in hand is always good. So obviously, when you go to do an international MPA, you have that facility where you can work and then you can study also. Okay, so that is a beautiful combination. That's a beautiful combination.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Please stand up. I think now we can end up with the session.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, now I invite Bestin for the vote of thanks. Bestin, please.
Hello.
Yeah.
I think I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening. I hope everyone's safe and sound. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you present here for the webinar. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. C.B. Joseph K. Sir, Assistant Professor, SB College, for providing us with such a great informative class. It's been a very useful class for us. Those who are dreaming about building a career in MBA, it's been very much useful. So thank you, sir, for sharing your ideas and thoughts and spending your valuable time with us. We thank you, sir.
So thank you, Bestin. Thank you, Bestin. One small correction, Bestin, over there. Is associate professor, slight difference between assistant and associate professor. Okay, fine, go ahead.
So I just misunderstood it.
Yeah, understood. Go ahead.
Okay, moving on, I would like to thank our principal for the Joshi Chivanguli CMI. He's been with us. He's been the backbone of our college. And we thank you, Ajay, for providing us with such a great opportunity. We thank you for your efforts in conducting such a great session. And he's been the guidance for us. So thank you very much, Ajay. In his absence, I would like to convey our heartfelt gratitude towards him. And next, I would like to thank our Vice Principal, Dr. Verghese Antony sir. He's been also very much supportive to us. And he's been providing us with the correct guidance and clear idea of what to do in the near future. So I'm very thankful. We are very thankful to him also. And moving on, I would like to thank our HOD, Dr. Matthew Emmanuel, sir. He is present in this webinar session. So thank you, sir. We hadn't had much time with him, but the time we had, it's been very much useful and innovative. So thank you, sir, for the time you spent with us. And moving on, I would like to thank the program coordinator, Tushara Miss. She's been working with this, with the arrangement of this program. So she made sure that every one of us had a great time and made the maximum out of it. So thank you, Miss, for the great arrangements you have made. And it's been very much successful, I guess. And moving on, I would like to thank our students coordinator, Steve Anthony Bastin. He is also very supportive to Tushara Miss. He has done a great work. So thank you, mate, for all the great work you are doing for us. Hope it continues. And all the faculties who've been present in this webinar, we've been very much encouraged by your presence. So thank you for all the faculties, and especially Ashwas, who's been our senior mate. He's been doing all the technical work for us. So thank you, Ashwas, for all the great work you are doing for us, and hope it continues on and on. And finally, all the students who have been present in this webinar. Without you, this wouldn't be such a successful. So thank you very much. I hope everyone had a great idea about how to pursue in an MBA career. So thank you everyone. And once again, I thank you everyone who had some effort in this conducting this webinar. And that's all from my part. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thank you, Cesar, for the wonderful time and for the very informative session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew Manuel, sir, and Tushara, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
and
you.
Bastin, thank you very much, and wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.